Giants got blown out, dominated in almost every facet of the game, except for defense, I guess. But the defense was put in awful spots the whole time. Yeah, I just had a bad feeling going into this game. I don't understand how you don't put a spy on Kyler Murray. And when you do put a spy on Kyler Murray, you lose him. Is it because he's so small? Maybe, he gets lost behind in that sea of big men and then you just lose him, but you can't. But there was a bunch of times, so many plays where it's like, where the fuck is the spy? I don't understand how you can. And the whole game, the broadcasters are talking about like, Kyler Murray is Russell Wilson-esque. I would argue that he's not. He's probably, at this point, better than Russell Wilson when it comes to evading the rush and scrambling. I mean, he proved it on Sunday. We, for the most part, did almost the same thing we did. I mean, we just had to like copy and paste. Control-C, Control-V, motherfucker. That's all you had to do was just do exactly what you did to Russell Wilson, confuse the fuck out of him and contain him. And you didn't. Why? Why was there not a spy? Why no spy? I don't get it. He averages 9 yards to scramble, so don't let him scramble. But we did. And when every time he runs for 10 carries or more, he's like undefeated. He's 12-5 in his career when he has 6 or more carries. So don't let him get 6 or more carries. And we did. Big time. Unbelievable. Like, the game was doomed from the beginning. As soon as Marcus Golden, ex-Giant, comes completely untouched on an 8-man protection set where we had fucking a million tight ends lined up to the right and none of them blocked Marcus Golden. And he comes front side and Jones still doesn't see him and he gets nailed, fumble recovery. That set the tone for the whole game and we never bounced back. We did a little bit, that one drive in the second half, but like that was about it. But I honestly thought when we got that goal line stand on the first Cardinals drive where Blake Martinez comes up huge at the goal line and Bradbury has a huge knockdown in the end zone to prevent a touchdown and we're getting a decent amount of pressure on Murray. I thought, okay, a little bit of a bump in the road, but we'll calibrate, we'll get right. We never did. I wrote in my preview that Christian Kirk might be a problem. That was in my notes. And he was a problem, especially on kick returns, punt returns. Our special teams shit the bed yet again. I don't know if it's Riley Dixon. I don't know what, but he had 8 punts, only 1 inside the 20. And the CJ Board is a gunner he gets down there, but it's not able to make a tackle. Massive punt. I mean, if you don't think field position is huge, and you're lying to yourself and you need to get help. There's a number you can call, okay? It's called 1-800-FIELD POSITION. I know you might think that's too many numbers, but you just leave out all the vowels and that'll be just enough. Kenyon Drake fumbled so many times and we could not get on top of it. It's just Daniel Jones fumbled so many times. It's like, okay, maybe practice does matter because the guy was off of practice for a week or not fully participating for a week or two, and he forgot like everything that he needed to do. He forgot how to make reads. He forgot how to hold on to the ball. He forgot how to scramble. He just forgot everything. It was a game of field position. We were constantly stuck inside our own 10 multiple times. Meanwhile, the Browns are getting the ball every time in our territory. I mean, not the Browns, the fucking Cardinals are getting the ball, and all they do is drive like 10, 15 yards to get in field goal range. If you look at their scoring drives, I mean, holy shit, man. 6 plays, 22 yards. 11 plays, 34 yards. These are scoring drives. 6 plays, 22 yards. 11 plays, 34 yards. 4 plays, 21 yards. 11 plays, 77 yards. 8 plays, 34 yards. 7 plays, 21 yards. They had one drive of more than 35 yards. And you're going to blame the defense? People are going to look at the final score and be like, man, so much for that staunch Giants defense. There was one drive over 35 yards, one scoring drive over 35 yards, over 34 yards. They had 2 total drives over 34 yards. One was a punt, one was a touchdown. I mean, yeah, kudos to Arizona for just having the right game plan and executing it just about flawlessly. But Giants ran 4 plays in Arizona territory past the 50-yard line. The fewest in the game since week 16, 2006. And that's like, that is amazing considering we had one of the shittiest years in franchise history in 2017. And we had, Eli had one of his worst seasons in 2013. And you have to go back to 2006 for the last time we ran 4 plays in enemy territory. We didn't have a play in their territory until the second half. Hassan Reddick became the first player with 5 or more sacks and 3 or more forced fumbles in a game since Vonnie Holiday in 2002. Cardinals defense had 8 or more sacks in a game for the second time in the last 5 seasons. The last time was against us last year. The Giants are now 5-35 when trailing at halftime since 2017. The most such losses in that span. So oddly enough, there was still part of me that thought when we were down 13-0 at half, this could be a lot worse. Like when we were only down 6-0, I was like, this could be a lot worse. And then Deion Lewis got fucking karate kicked in the arm and lost the fumble on the kickoff return. And I was like, yeah, it just got worse. It's just one of those days. Don't take it personal. Shout out Monica. Just one of them days. I mean, we got smoked in every possible category. Just smoked. Ugh. Look at these drives. 14 yards, 7 yards, 12 yards, 3 yards. Now, these aren't plays. These are drives. 14 yards, 7 yards, 12 yards, 3 yards, 22. We had one drive. I mean, you talk about the Arizona offense and how they didn't really do much. Like, our defense was still pretty good. Our offense had one drive of more than 20 yards. That is complete domination. And I really did think when we were down 20-0 and we responded and with that touchdown, I was like, it's 27. We're only down by 2 scores. We get a stop, we score again, we're down by 7. That legitimately went through my mind. Like, Judge got to him at half and was like, step it the fuck up and we're going to come back with a vengeance. And I really did think that, and we did not by any means. I mean, it sucks the Cardinals didn't have Dan Bailey kicking for them, because then it would have been, final score would have been 14-7 instead of 26. I mean, shout out to the defense. It was good to see McKinney getting in there, mixing it up and playing smart. He didn't make like that big of an impact, but maybe it was more something that you won't see show up in the highlight reel, but something you'll see in the film room, like, oh, look how he moves, look how he's communicating, look how he's, blah, blah. I mean, there were multiple times where the Cardinals were in field goal range and somehow we kicked them out of field goal range, like 2 or 3 times. So this score could have been a lot worse. But then the Cardinals punt, and Jabrill Peppers must have depth perception problems, because the fact that he's standing on the 5-yard line and calling fair catches is outrageous. You stand on the 10-yard line. If it goes over your head, Godspeed. Let the football gods decide your fate. You don't take it out. You don't take that chance out of the playing field. I mean, I want to say at least 3 times he called for a fair catch on the 5. The fuck you doing, dude? You got to give us a shot. And if they down it, kudos to them. But what is the difference between starting on the fucking 2-yard line or the 5-yard line? What is the goddamn difference? I love the guy. He played like a madman. Had like 13 total tackles or something like that. 2 tackles for loss. But Jesus, dude. Killing us in the punt return game. Just killing us.